50 years ago today, in fact, Martin Luther King was assassinated. My next guest says half a century later, Black Canadians are still nowhere close to achieving that dream. Desmond Cole is an activist and a freelance journalist, and he joins me right here in studio. And I'm glad to pick your brain on this, because this is a day, Desmond, when a lot of people are thinking optimistically and positively, and you seem to be not in that group, are you? That we have so much work to do, we haven't reached any of that dream?
I think that that's being real, Suhan. I don't know if it's being negative or lacking optimism. I think that our power lies in being honest about what's happened 50 years after Dr. King, not in trying to pretend that we've arrived. And so if we look at the state in Black Canada today, where Black people socioeconomically are still struggling so much more than everybody else, although we've been on this land for centuries. Black people in our jails, Black people's children being taken away from them at alarming rates. We could celebrate Dr. King, and I do celebrate Dr. King. I'm just continuing the work that Dr. King left for us.
How do you celebrate Dr. King? I mean, what is the work that you're doing that does promote that message of equality, of opportunity, of freedom for all, equality at the base of it?
I think that the message that I try to promote in my work is that Black people know what we need, that Black people understand the world that we're living in, that our analysis of the world is real, and that we require certain changes in the way that the system works, and that we're the ones who are qualified and experienced enough with this world that we live in to know what those things are and to help lead the change. So if Black people are being disproportionately affected by things like prison, by things like policing, by things like the child welfare system, we need to be at the forefront of making amends, of fixing systems that are harming us. And we need our governments and our media to listen when we provide the guidance that's needed to make changes.
And do we also need heroes and those who have the, the wherewithal to gather people for momentous marches? And do we have those leaders?
I'm reluctant to buy into the hero narrative, actually.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. First of all, Dr. King was killed. Dr. King was assassinated, and many people believe he was assassinated by the United States government. That was his reward for being a hero. And that's why it's so hard for the average Black person to step up, because we know that stepping up could mean our very lives. So I don't think we need heroes as much as we need community organizing, as much as we need Black Lives Matter Toronto, as much as we need Black lawyers who are willing to step up and support people who need those supports, Black people in the education system who are willing to change the punitive measures that we bring on Black children today towards more love and care. It needs to be a community approach, because going for leadership, what has that given us? It's given us a lot of male, cisgender, straight Black men who become lionized, and then whose legacy, like Dr. King, gets changed once they're gone. And
in what environment, how would you describe the state of Canada? Are we nurturing this? And I'm using the word nurture because I can't think of one that actually fits.
Well, did we?
'Cause we're not nurturing it.
Did we? No. Did we nurture it? We just heard about Pride here in Toronto, and that the police will be pulling out of the Pride Parade this year. When Black Lives Matter Toronto stopped the Pride Parade in front of the whole world 2 years ago to say Black people are not included in Pride celebrations, did we welcome them? No. When workers in the Ontario Public Service say we're being discriminated as Black women at work, do their unions and the media welcome that and say, hey, we want to hear your story? Do governments? No, we're not welcoming these messages. White supremacy has a way of resisting our advances and our struggle as Black people. The system has a way. The whole system, not individual people, has a way of resisting us and always trying to push back. That is our struggle still today.
You know, when you talk about a whole system, people, I think, or I feel, well, what can I do against a system?
Yes.
But isn't there something that needs to be an individual effort? Because it is up to each and every Canadian to affect change on the system.
Right. So what I would ask each and every Canadian, whether they are Black or not, but particularly if you're not Black, when Black people stand up for themselves for terms of the criminal justice system, do you help them? When they stand up in terms of child welfare system, do you amplify their voices, or do you say, I'm not sure I believe them? What are non-Black Canadians willing to do individually in their home, in their workplace, in their community, in their schools? What are they willing to do individually to help collectively make that change for us? That is the question that we are asking our brothers and sisters in this country every day who are not Black.
I want to end with one of the things that actually Jesse Jackson said. He said the resurrection of the martyr is more powerful than the marcher. I'm wondering if you buy into that.
I think that Dr. King's legacy is perhaps 50 years later unrecognizable to what he actually lived and fought for and experienced. I don't think Dr. King should have had to die for us to be able to make the progress that we did, and I don't think black people today should have to put ourselves in the danger and harm and constant struggle that we have to in order to be heard. Martyrs can galvanize the media and they can galvanize storytelling for a time, but what happens to the average black person every day that's our real measure.
I want to thank you for this conversation. And you know what's interesting? I think people across the country on this day, and you know, even though it's one day, we are specifically looking at it, we'll be talking about it. Maybe that's a good thing.
It's always a good thing, but action matters as much as words do, Suhana.
I want to thank you for your time,
Thank
Desmond.
you very much.
Activist and freelance journalist Desmond Cole right here in studio.